extra, you know?
That's just the way they're made.
Yeah, it's just the
God
way they're
made us
made.
all differently. Yeah, wonderfully and fearfully made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we can have good fat and bad fat, and we can have just different body composition. You know, people can be very muscular and there's all sorts of body types and shapes and sizes. But in this particular study, with this habit creation, the people who adopted that daily habit lost, I think, 6 kilograms of weight versus the people who didn't, who lost like 0.8 kilograms. I'm going to get my numbers wrong.
Sure.
But it was significant, the amount of weight that people lost just through a daily habit that probably had nothing to do with weight loss at all. Yeah. So there's something about habit creation, you use that word discipline. The body does like consistency, and there's enormous benefits with consistency that go across all the dimensions of health: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, energetic. And so this is where I love to come in to help support people when there's that sense of overwhelm of, I don't know where to start and I don't know what to do. It's like, if you can just try to be consistent, just choose one thing and just be consistent. Like if you had to start somewhere, start there.
Sure. So that could just be take sugar out of your coffees and don't drink. Yeah. Just reduce it. So you start small.
Just start with one thing.
Wow.
Because that changes your nervous system. The nervous system is the one that has the habits.
Sure.
I'm oversimplifying, but, for the sake of simplicity, we are creatures of habit.
And do you believe that small achievements lead you to bigger achievements?
Absolutely.
So when you see the results, it's sort of a push start to an even bigger result.
Yes. And I think that's where a lot of people get tripped up is it's trying to do everything all at once.
Got it.
It's too much, too fast. Either it doesn't work or you have a boomerang effect. You kind of slip back into your old habits and maybe even worse.
Sure.
Or sometimes too much change too fast can contribute to adverse health.
Yeah, it's not good for the body, is it?
Yes.
Yeah, it gives the body a shock.
Yes.
Yeah. Even God said to Israel, take the land little by little. He said, don't try and take it all at once because it will overwhelm you, but just do it in steps. And that's what you're saying.
That is exactly right. And it's just the same as it's easy to ignore prevention because it's invisible if it's working. You don't know if it's working or not.
Sure.
Those small steps also can feel like that. It can feel like I'm not doing anything. But when you understand that the consistency of that action is more important than the action, you're acclimating your body to be able to adapt to change.
Got it. So the consistency is more powerful than the actual action itself.
Yes. And I think, if there was one thing that I could just impart on anybody who's thinking about, taking that leap, is it can be that easy.
Got it.
Right? It really can. Because I introduced all this complexity with genetics and, stress and all of these things, and it can feel overwhelming. And sometimes that overwhelming.
So we can sometimes psychologically defeat ourselves with the mass. We believe we have to do so much.
Yes. And there's a feeling maybe it's never enough. It's not enough.
That's excellent. So going back to this roadmap, you look at your family genetics. Do you believe it's a good idea to go to your doctor and sort of have a general look at your health just to see where you are, and then that makes up a part of your plan in terms of tackling the specifics?
Absolutely. Yeah. Going and getting a baseline panel. When you go to a doctor, you can just ask for a baseline panel, which is just going to look there. They're going to do blood work, and they're just going to take a look at your numbers across the different organ systems. And those are just scanning for red flags.
Sure.
Right? Just making sure everything's on that basic functional level, working really well. And without that, you can still be effective, but it gives you that baseline. So I'll give an example, a personal example.
Yes.
A few years ago, I just wasn't feeling like myself. I mean, I hadn't really changed anything in my habits or whatever. But I noticed that I took a trip. I flew to a different time zone. I took like a red-eye flight to a different time zone. And when I arrived there, I just felt swollen, like and jet lagged, and that's normal, but then it stayed that way the whole trip. And then I flew back and couldn't sleep for a couple weeks. And I just knew this is where prevention helps, because I kind of knew my body.
So you knew something had changed.
Yes. I had a baseline for what's me and what's not me. And I said, this is not normal for me. I have my laundry list of challenges, and this has not ever been one of them. And so I went to the doctor and I got some blood work, and in the panel, it showed that my kidney function had significantly decreased.
Wow.
And the doctor said, this is not a problem. But to me, I knew these numbers weren't normal because I had a baseline.
It's interesting. He says it's okay, but if something's not functioning like it used to, then how is it okay?
They're looking for the disease.
Wow. But if you start with the function,
yes,
you can prevent the disease.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it stood out to me because I have a history of kidney disease in my family.
Wow.
So if I didn't have that history, would that have stood out to me? Probably not. But I knew that this is something that runs in my family. This is not normal. And my doctor's saying it's not clinically significant, meaning, from a medical point of view, they're like, until you have kidney disease, we really don't have a conversation. And I'm like, well, these numbers are really close to kidney disease. Wow. And so I did some research, and what I learned was when it comes to kidney disease, they really don't have, in the medical field, they don't have a lot of prevention. They basically are like, we're just, hopefully your kidneys hang on. And
right.
if not, we'll do dialysis. Like we have treatment for the disease, but not prevention. So I was kind of stunned to hear that. But I also, didn't believe it. I believed in prevention. I said, what can I do? And so I started looking into, some of my other factors. I have some digestive issues and different things like that. And I said, I think I did some research on my own and found a link between digestive health and kidney function decreasing. And so I said, what if I just focus on my digestive health? Maybe I just focus on that. So I did 6 months of focusing on my digestive health. And when I went back, my numbers were normal.
Oh, that's amazing.
So this is the edge, and we can.
What did you do to get your digestive health better? Fiber? Did you start eating more fiber?
So I focused on actually exercise can be really good for your digestion.
Okay.
So I just made sure that I was doing at least a half an hour of exercise every day.
Okay. Exercise or gym?
What I committed to myself was a half an hour every day. So if I could get to the gym, great. If I couldn't, I would work at home. There's the consistency.
So the 30 minutes was more powerful than the where.
That's right.
Awesome.
And I made a commitment to that. So maybe my template was to do it first thing in the morning at the gym, but maybe the day didn't allow for me to do that. I would make sure that I did it sometime during the day. And if I couldn't get to the gym, I would do it at home.
Sure.
Right. So I just wanted to make sure that I was consistent with that.
That's amazing.
And that's a really nice way to take the pressure off of it. Because a lot of people will say, oh, I missed the gym this morning. The day's a wash.
Yeah.
No,
true.
You have the whole day to find.
It's raining and I can't be bothered to go to the gym. Yeah.
And say, oh, well, look, I have 15 minutes here and 15 minutes there. 2 different 15-minute workouts, maybe one at home and then do 15 minutes at the gym. Some people might think 15 minutes in the gym is worthless. Why would I bother? No, not at all. If you do 15 minutes a day at the gym consistently, you will see benefits over a period of 2 to 3 months. Absolutely. Wow. So the consistency was more important. So I get motivated by those kind of things. It gives me a container.
Sure.
And we talk about prevention versus cure, and prevention can be, not rewarding.
Yeah.
And so people will ignore it. And then, it takes a health scare to make it important to reassess. Sometimes that can be a beneficial thing for someone who's struggling to implement the changes, right? It can be a wake-up call. So I like to take it that way. Okay, this was a wake-up call. Maybe I'm focusing on my digestion, but not enough.
So you did exercise and fibers, and that was...
I did exercise. I increased my fiber. I cut out sugar.
Wow.
And to the people that I know who are doctors, when I tell them that, they go, why not sugar? Why not salt? But because we were looking at digestive health and sugar is inflammatory...
You knew that sugar.
I said, if I cut out my sugar, I'm reducing a lot of inflammation.
So you just had natural sugar?
No sugar at all.
Oh, wow. Not even in fruits?
Well, yeah, but you even when you're thinking about cutting out sugar, you have to consider that there is a lot of sugar in fruits.
Sure.
It's
So you
not
just
as
limited fruit.
limited.
I get it.
Limited your sugar. I mean, that's not as inflammatory as like pure white sugar that you might put
Sure.
in your coffee or whatever, or in your desserts. But it's still
You've got to monitor it.
yeah. Spike all of your stress hormones to give you energy, and now you're kind of running on adrenaline all day, and that becomes a cycle. It becomes a cycle because then you're not tired. You hear tired and wired. If you're tired and wired, it's like you're tired, but you can't come down.
Wow.
Right? So we start looking at those kind of factors. Some people might have that habit and some people might not. So we might look at all those different things. But overall, we're going to look at mindset and just kind of setting you up for success to get those cues into the body that, it's time to sleep. Right?
Wow.
So that's how we start. And it's really not that hard to even just, if you want to do it on your own, it's like, let me just start. Let me just start by trying to power down, right? And then just kind of see how your body responds. Some people really do have insomnia. They really do struggle with sleep. And the idea of even facing that is so stressful and so overwhelming because it's already such a stressor.
Sure. So facing it actually creates more stress.
Absolutely. And because anybody who has insomnia is thinking about it all the time. They feel tired all the time. They don't have energy. It's preventing them from being able to show up in their relationships present and be as productive as they know. They can't be their best self. And so they're probably working on it and they just haven't figured out what works. So with that, one of the more recent research studies that I've found that I love for people like this is that meditation, breath work, mindfulness have very similar benefits to sleep.
Okay.
So if you're having trouble sleeping, rather than trying to tackle that first, I'm going to give you, take 10 to 15 minutes out of your day and maybe do a guided meditation online.
Amen.
Or just step into like a mindfulness class or a yoga class or some kind of mind-body movement.
Yep.
Something that's giving you a mind-body connection that is, then you don't have to, stress about falling asleep.
Got it.
You're getting some of it is like sleep. It takes you into some of those different areas of rest and, that the brain goes into where you can do some of the repair.
That's amazing.
It is.
And do you believe there's a connection between sleep and performance? Or I'm speaking about in terms of your job. One of my mentors told me when I've got to preach, get a good night's rest the day before because your brain is more alert, it thinks more, you're more connected between your mind, your spirit and your body. Is that true?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
And
so if you're going for an exam or a driving test or you're doing something, you've got a critical meeting or you want to do well at work, getting a good night's rest is essential.
And you can even think about it even before the night before.
Okay.
So maybe in the week leading up to, make sure you're getting rest in the week or weeks.
Okay, sure.
Because let's say you have a race or you have a big, if you have some big event that you're presenting at, maybe the night before you're kind of amped up, right? Maybe, you don't need to be stressing out about getting a good night's sleep that night before.
Sure.
So if you've built up and you've had good sleep and you're prepared, if you have trouble sleeping that night, you still feel rested.
I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you've got that rest in, which is always working for you in that kind of way. I think that is just fantastic how important sleep is. And as you said, it's one of the number one elements of having that lifestyle, and that healthy lifestyle. What do you believe, we're speaking about prevention and we've been speaking about that last episode. What do you feel about these new weight loss injections and these quick fix health sort of medications? Are you a proponent of those or are you not really a big fan?
Well, I mean, as a coach, part of what I love about being a coach is that my opinion isn't as important as I would like it to be.
Sure.
And it's sort of that it's holding space for that gap between sort of what the medical establishment is saying, this is what you should be doing, this is, and the reality of a person,
Sure.
right? And they're living their life, and they ultimately have to decide.
Sure.
So for me, I'm like, as a coach, I'm going to inform you as best I can about the options and, what's working or, what's your best bet.
Sure.
And then you get to decide, and I'll be there with you.
Wow. That's
So
awesome.
I was shocked when I was going through my coach training, and I learned that people statistically are more successful at making lifestyle changes when they're choosing them themselves. So if I tell you what to do, you're more likely to just feel like, oh, well, you told me what to do and I did it and it didn't work, so you were wrong. Right. So the responsibility isn't on you. But if you choose, you can say, oh, I learned a lot when I did that. So even if it wasn't necessarily the best choice, you can say, well, I tried that and I learned something and that didn't work, so now I'm ready to try something else. So it's more, you feel more empowered.
So how do you or encourage the person to make the choices themselves?
Yeah.
Do you just lay out the options?
Lay out the options.
Okay.
So when it comes to those medications, I mean, the evidence there is stunningly not good.
Sure.
Yeah. The evidence for the GLP-1 drugs, there's more and more research every day. And I mean, the issue with these drugs is when they come out, we don't have a lot of research. We might have short term, maybe they've done some clinical trials, but we don't really know the long-term effects of these kind of things. So it's hard to say, and people are like, well, this is new and maybe I'll try it. I've tried everything else. I've tried to lose weight and I can't. So maybe I'll try this. I see people losing weight. Well, as the research is coming out, these GLP-1 drugs are also deteriorating your muscle. You're not just losing fat, you're losing muscle. So what they're doing now is they're prescribing with it another medication that protects muscle mass.
Oh, man. Wow.
So there's a lot of these strategies.
Yeah.
But always what I tell people is if you're going to use something like that, it's a short-term fix, judgment-free. If you're going to use something like that, we need to be building underneath it.
Sure.
The lifestyle changes.
So you could use that, have the lifestyle changes, so at least you get to a good weight and then still implement the lifestyle changes.
Right, because you are getting the weight loss with the drug, but you're also getting the side effects, right? The muscle
Sure.
loss and all of that.
Yeah.
And so if you're still, while you're doing that, you're going to the gym, you're changing your eating habits. It's going to be easier because the drug changes your appetite,
Sure.
right? So it's like, okay, well, let's just kind of ride that wave. If that's happening, while that's happening and you're not getting those same cravings, let's build in healthy lifestyle. And at some point you're going to come off the drug.
And then what will happen?
If you don't, and
if you don't have the lifestyle, then you'll
gain the weight
lose
back.
back.
That's
Yeah.
what's been happening for people.
Yeah.
Is they'll get off the drugs and then they'll get the weight gain will come. And so then, I recommend people try the lifestyle changes first. And then if you hit that wall, then we can look at another choice. I recommend that to people. I always recommend to start with the lifestyle choices, because even if you end up deciding to go on the medication or whatever that short-term quick fix strategy is that we're talking about, you're in a better baseline
Sure.
to get the benefit, and you're going to need it for less time, right? Maybe you need a little
Exactly.
booster or something like that. So I try to encourage people with that, and to pretty good success. I've inspired a lot of people who wanted plastic surgery, who wanted to hop on this trend of these drugs and things like that. And then you sit down and you have a good educational conversation, and I would say 8 out of 10 people will get inspired to just make the lifestyle changes, and then there's the other 2, and we just keep it a conversation.
Sure. That's so great. How can people get in touch with you, with your practice and what you do?
Good question. So, I mean, you can find me online. I have a website, Bodyattune, BODYATTUNE, bodyattune.com.
Body attuned, yeah.
Yeah, and I do a lot of things, but they're all in this umbrella of peak performance.
Sure.
I like the concept of peak performance. It's really about you're unique. You're absolutely unique, and what you need to be your best is unique to you.
Wow.
And we can look at that, through all the dimensions of your life and, how to enhance that rather than, bringing it back to the conversation we had last time of prevention versus cure, rather than fix this thing. I'm showing up with some kind of crisis. We need to fix it. It's like, how do we nourish, get everything working together and find that balance? And as a result of that, sure, we're going to be resolving some of those underlying, issues that maybe brought you into the door. But we're also building a new baseline. So then you're not getting, you're not going to be coming back to me in 6 months or a year with the same issue.
Sure.
We want to keep that moving, forward.
Create a picture and a pattern that's
Yes,
not
sir.
necessarily true. Let me ask you this. Some people, and you see it a lot, are not necessarily proud of their how they look. And I'm saying this because there seems to be an escalation of cosmetic procedures.
Oh, yeah.
And you've got BBLs and
Mm-hmm.
the men are doing stuff, and so that then denotes, in my view, that some people are not happy with their composition,
Right.
their makeup.
Right.
So I want to say this because everyone's different. I believe that diversity is beauty. That's why God did it on the earth.
Mhm.
Can you talk a little bit about people's metabolism and body makeup? Because some people are more slim,
Yes.
some people are more muscular, some
Right.
people, everybody's body shape is different, but not everyone has to look the same, do
No.
they? How do you know, because there's different body
Mhm.
compositions, how do you know when you're at your
Best.
body, your best for your size?
You see, this is the reason why, and we go this from the beginning. From the beginning, when you do your assessment,
Yes.
that allows me, when I do the assessment, I always ask them what are your goals are. Some goals are, now you have to understand, goals are from 3 months, they can be from 6 months, 9 months to a year. But what is your goal? So I can know what to do to get you to that level. Now, the thing about it is, we all, like me, I'm a bodybuilder. So I have to train myself in a certain way to get to that position of that body, the muscular. So I have to do certain exercises. So, and there are people who want to just be in good shape. So there are certain exercises that all you can do is just do these exercises that will benefit you. As we get older, we don't want to be big on muscular like we were, but we just want to be active.
You lose muscle as you get older.
Yes, and that's another thing. As even we go to a level in our life, like how we grew to a level, say 6 foot, and then after that 6 foot, you start going back down in the next.
So shrinking.
Yes, and that's the whole thing about it is, and that's why it's important to have proper nutrition, proper food.
So you're saying, in terms of your body makeup
Mhm.
and your look, once you're living the lifestyle, your body will naturally come into its place and
Yes,
shape.
that's what is called a peak. When you go to that peak, I mean, when you go to that peak, that's it. I mean, you can stay up to that peak, but you got to keep on doing what you're supposed to do each and every day. But then if you don't keep on doing active on your exercise and your food, always got to remember, your meals and your food is 80%. Your workouts is, say, 20%. So some people get mixed up thinking that the workouts is important than the eating. Eating is most important part. And that's why I was break down too as well. Check yourself. Your urine is supposed to be clear. If it gets dark, that means there's too much toxic in the body. And as you have to use your bowels. Your bowels has to go at least 2 times a day, minimum.
2 times.
Yes, sir.
Some people go 5 days, and
I know that. I have.
does that mean their diet's not right?
Yes, Pastor. That's why.
And their exercise.
And yeah, and then it gets me scared because sometimes they're like, oh, I only go 2 times a week. And I'm like, oh, hello. And then that's why I break down, like, what do you...
That green tea will help.
True.
That green tea will help.
Yes, it will.
Yeah, because...
But this is the reason why I break down. I said, okay, so what are you eating each day? You know?
Right.
Because that's what's the reason why it's not working right, because you putting something into this body of yours and it's not working right like it's supposed to.
Wow.
That's why, I'm sorry.
No, that's wonderful. Do me a favor, please. Could you just look in that camera, this one here, and just encourage people just for 30 seconds on what they must do to do exercise and live that lifestyle according to the Bible?
Listen, it's important that you do everything that you're supposed to do, all right? You have to rest, you have to exercise, and you have to eat properly. Those are very important parts. Now, these things will work for your good if you do it and let it be a part of you. You know, stop worrying about everybody else or what they say about you. Know who you are. Know what you need to do, and you will see your results. All right? I'm right here for you.
Listen, this has been exceptional. We've learned some things. Health is wealth.
Yes.
And we have learned how imperative it really is. And I pray that you were blessed. Again, I want you to join us on Sundays at 10:30 a.m. Be a part of those absolutely powerful, impacting services so that you can be encouraged, uplifted, and things can move to the next level in your life. Also, join this channel and subscribe so you can get regular updates. It's been a joy, an honor, and a privilege coming into your home or wherever you're watching from. And I pray you was uplifted and encouraged. We're going deeper next episode, so I want you to join me. Stay blessed and favored of God, and we'll see you next week. Blessings to everyone. Listen, this podcast has been possible because of the faithful givers that have been giving. So the giving information is on the screen. And want you to really give to the ministry so that we can continue the work of God. CLCC is doing an amazing thing spiritually all over the city of New York and where we are. So I want you to just be a part of what God is doing. And teamwork makes the dream work. So as you seed, we'll continually to grow and go into more places and spaces. God bless you.